Good morning, all. My name is Sijus Bhaskar. I'm working as a social science teacher in Al Janub International School, Khamis Mushaid, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. As far as social science is concerned, it is a combination of four separate disciplines: history, geography, civics, and economics. 20 marks from history and 20 marks from geography, 20 marks from civics, and 20 marks from economics. Altogether, it will be a written examination of 80 mark plus internal examination for 20 marks, and altogether total marks will be 400. This is actually the syllabus pattern of social science class 10 CBSE. Today we are discussing the first chapter of economics, development. The idea of development or progress has always been with us. We have been experiencing the development in our day-to-day life. Many things are there we are experiencing as a part of development. For example, the video lesson which I am playing right now is an example of development. Similarly, we have ideas about a country. What should be the country? What should be the type of the country? Whether it is a rich country or a poor country. What are the essential things the people of the country require? And can be the development for all? And is there an equality of the development? And all these concepts, all these questions are there as far as development is concerned. Actually, development involves thinking about all these questions and finding out the way to tackle all these issues. Is not an easy task. It's a complex task, and in this chapter I am discussing about the development concepts. At the beginning of the concepts, what is development, what are the essential elements of the development, and how we are measuring the development, and how can we measure the country's development, and what is the development of human beings, and all development concepts we are explaining in this chapter. First, we have to discuss the concept of development. What is this term? What does this development mean? Before coming to the concept of development in economics, we have to discuss the term growth. From growth only we can come to the concept of development. What do you mean by growth? Growth means quantitative change, and development means qualitative change. Let's have a look at the two examples for explaining this concept. In the year 2010, in our school, the total number of students were 500, and the pass percentage of students, it was 50%. And at the year 2020, number of students increased to 2000, but the pass percentage remained as same 50%. Let's come to this example. In 2020, number of students 500, it was 500, and pass percentage it was 50. In 2020, number of students increased to 2000, and the pass percentage increased to 100. Look at here. Here in 2010, it was 500 number of students, it was 500. In 2020, it increased to 2000. But the pass percentage 50%, in 2020 also it is 50%. It means here in the first example, there is quantitative changes there. Number increased from 500 to 2000, but the quality of the student, the pass percentage, it was 50%, and right now also it is 50%. That means here in the first example, quantity change is there, quantitative change is there, but there is no qualitative change. But next we can come to this example. In 2010, number of students it was 500, and in 2020 it is 2000, and in 2010 the pass percentage of the students in our school it was 50%, but in 2020 it increased to 100%. It means here qualitative change and quantitative changes are here in this example. Quantitative change from 500 to 2000, and qualitative change from 50% to 100%. That means here in this example we could see qualitative and quantitative change. This is an example of development. Let's have a look at the shorter version of this definition. Development means both quantitative and qualitative change. That means development is equal to growth plus structural change. When growth is accompanied by some basic level of changes, one dynamic shift of the economy, that concept is known as what? Development. Structural change means dynamic shift of the economy. That means a basic level of changes. When an economy changes from a basic level to a advanced level of changes, and that is known as what? Structural change. For example, exchange of economy from subsistence economy to a manufacturing economy. That means subsistence level economy means before people use the production and consumption for their own self-consumption. And when it comes to manufacturing economy, the production and consumption is not for self-consumption, it's for sale in the market. That means here from subsistence level to manufacturing level, when one shift is there of an economy, that system is known as what? Structural change. When growth is accompanied by the structural change, that concept is known as what? Development. As far as development is concerned, two concepts are quite clear. Different persons have different development goals. The second, what may be the development of one may not be the development of others. See, these two concepts are very important in development. Different persons have different development goals. Actually, these development goals of the people are different because the life situations of the people are different. For example, let's take an example of Mukesh Ambani. And his development goal will be to do more investment and to make more production and to be the number one person, richest person in the world. That is his development goal. And I have one neighbor, and his name is Raju. He is working as a construction employee. He is working on a daily basis. And his development goal will be to get a decent level of income, to get a house, to get a shelter in a proper way, and to get a proper decent level of standard of living. That is the development goal of that person. In these two examples, we could identify that the life situations of rich person is entirely different from the life situation of poor persons. The rich person's development goal will be different when compared to the life situations or development goal of poor persons. The second one, what may be the development of one may not be the development of other. It means the development goal of one person, sometimes it will be an obstacle to the development of other person. For example, the development goal of a government is construction of dam is a development goal of a government. When the government constructs the dam, there may be a chance that it will destroy and it will be an obstacle to the development goal of some poor persons, like they may lose their land, agricultural properties and housing facilities, many things. And let's have a look at another example. The development goal of a rich person is driving a car, getting a car and driving a car on the road. But it may be a problem for the poor person, example, a beggar who is sleeping on the street. This development goal of the rich person of driving a car will be a problem for the development goal of the beggar. So that means what may be the development of one may not be the development of other. Sometimes it may even be destructive for others. That means these two concepts regarding this development, different persons have different development goals, and what may be the development of one may not be the development of others are very important. From this first point, we have one question. Different persons have different development goals. The question will be, why people have different development goals? Because the life situations of people are different. That is the only reason people are having different development goals. My question, how can we measure the development? The development of a person and development of a country and everywhere development we can see. How can we measure the development? How can we identify the development? There are many indicators of development. The indicators of development can be classified into two: income indicators and non-income indicators. In the first category, income indicators, national income and per capita income. These two are the most important income indicators of development. By measuring the national income and per capita income, we can easily identify whether a country is achieving development or not. Next classification is non-income indicators. In this category, there are many indicators of development. For example, life expectancy, infant mortality rate, basic literacy level, and many concepts are included in the non-income indicators. First, let's explain the income indicators of development. The most important income indicators of development is per capita income. Actually, per capita income we are calculating from national income. For identifying or calculating per capita income, we have to study the concept of national income. National income we are getting from GDP. So first have a look at these examples of the GDP and national income. What is the difference between GDP and the national income? GDP means gross domestic product. It is the money value of all final goods and services produced in the domestic territory of a country during a given period of time. That means during 1 year. That means it is the money value or the market value of all final goods and services we are producing in the political frontier inside the country during 1 year. 1 year, for example, in the year 2020, this GDP of Saudi Arabia means in the year 2020, how many final goods and services are producing in the country, and we will take the money value of all final goods and services producing within the country only, and we are not taking any money value of goods and services producing outside the country. Only the things we are producing inside the country, and that money value we will calculate. That value is known as what? GDP, gross domestic product. But when we come to national income, it is the money value of all goods and services, final goods and services produced in a country. That means goods and services produced within the country and outside the country, both we will calculate, and we will calculate the money value of all these products, and we will take the total value, that will be national income. So very small difference between this GDP and national income. In GDP, we will calculate the money value of all final goods and services produced within the country, and in national income, we will calculate the money value of all final goods and services produced in a country, that means within the country and outside the country. In short, national income is equal to GDP plus net factor income from economy. Now you guys got the details and the idea about the national income. And the most important income indicator of development is per capita income, and there are many limitations to per capita income, and the concept of per capita income and the limitations of per capita income, and the remaining parts of this chapter we will discuss in the next video.